Hi Moon Babes, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Cheyenne Baker. I'm the face behind and founder of Soulful Soothe, which is a community for Black women seeking healing from perfectionism after going through some church hurt. I typically see women who grew up in the church or were involved in the church for a very long time, and they started to have questions about the faith as a whole and started dabbling into other forms of spirituality and are just looking for a community of like-minded women who still want to pray, still want to bless the table, but also are into the moon phases, the moon cycle, sound baths, cleansing your space, energetic healing, things of that nature. So as the title suggests, today we are going to be talking about this beautiful Libra full moon. What does it mean? What you can do for your own personal rituals, and then we'll tap in with an energy check-in or a tarot reading. I've got some decks in mind that I want to use, but before we get into all that, let's get into just talking about what this full moon means. What does it mean for you personally? What does it mean for the collective, and things of that nature? What the heck even is a full moon? So there are 8 phases, a part of the moon cycle. The full moon is when the moon is its biggest, brightest, it's the prettiest. You can normally see it in the sky from wherever you are. I say normally because obviously there are weather conditions that can get in the way, but whenever you see just a big, full, beautiful, bright, glistening, glimmering, I'm a moon slut if you couldn't tell. Whenever you see that big ass moon in the sky and it's super bright, that's a full moon. Sometimes the moon will appear full, but it's not quite full. That's another moon phase we'll get into. But for the purpose of this video today, we're specifically talking about what happens when the moon is the brightest. So energetically, spiritually, what this means is that Spirit, God, the universe, divine wants to illuminate something for you that might have been ignored or just unseen before. This is the time for you to be paying attention to the subtleties of things. But at the same time, it might not necessarily feel subtle. So if you are, let's say, in a relationship, since we're talking about Libra energy, if you're in a relationship and all of a sudden your partner is acting crazy, or all of a sudden things are switching up, he's not hitting it how he used to be hitting it, or he's quiet when he's normally talkative, or he's more talkative when he's normally quiet, something is different. That's what you need to be paying attention to during this time, because it's a crescendo, if you will. Things are reaching a climax. Things are usually a little bit more fast-paced, but overall, it's just a time for you to be paying attention a lot more. Now, of course, you always want to be using your intuition, tapped into your discernment, but at this time specifically, it's usually something that you've been ignoring or just unaware of that Spirit wants you to illuminate. And how do we figure out what Spirit wants to illuminate? Well, that's why we have each of the zodiac constellations. So each planet and luminary, the sun and the moon, transit through all 12 of the zodiac signs. Each zodiac sign represents an area of our life, if you will. So Libra energy, the glyph for Libra energy is the scales. So it's all about balance, it's all about harmony, it's all about connecting with other people. And so when you couple Libra energy with the full moon energy, what I predict, what other readers, astrologers online are going to be talking about is how we can notice imbalances in our interpersonal relationships. So this doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partnership that you're noticing things are a little imbalanced. It can be with a friendship or with parents, but for the most part, we're going to be focusing on the romance because Libra energy is known to be very focused on romance. Why is that? Let's get into that a little bit more. So Libra energy is ruled by the planet of Venus. Venus is a very sexy, luxurious, beautiful planet, and it really likes luxury. It likes being taken care of. It likes being able to lean back and relax And those are all things that are kind of paralleled with being in romantic partnership, or at least they should be, in my opinion. I don't think you should be anywhere where you're feeling stressed out. I'm not going to get into all that, but I feel like you should not be anywhere where things are just way too uncomfortable. Now, that's not to say that you can't grow from your discomfort, because I definitely believe that you can. But if things are more uncomfortable than comfortable, that's when it's time to do a check-in and probably check out, right? So with this full moon, we're all anticipating our love life to be at the forefront. Ultimately, if you're not really focused on love at this time, you might just be seeing yourself wanting to distance from friendships or associates, or just people in general that you're not really aligned with. And you might feel like others are looking at you like you're acting funny, or maybe you are the one looking at other people saying that they're acting funny. At this time, it's not that people are acting funny, moving weird. It's just a time where people are reassessing what's truly in alignment with themselves, what they want, what their ambitions are, what their aspirations are. With that being said, there could be some breakups during this full moon. And again, not just romantically, but overall. Some breakups will be like a sit down, let's chat about this. What you're doing and what you're saying and what you're believing are not in alignment with what I'm doing, saying, and believing. That's a very real possibility. However, there are some breakups or some rifts that might happen that aren't necessarily spoken on. And what do I mean by that? Kind of like ghosting, but not really ghosting. So you'll just notice like, oh, it's been a couple days or a couple weeks, and we have been talking pretty consistently, and I'm just not hearing from them anymore. Don't take it personal. Now, if you want to go ahead and have that conversation, sure. But like I said, it's not really about trying to be confrontational, because the other aspect of the full moon is that emotions are running high, because the moon's effect on us here on Earth, it controls the water tides, and water is often associated, especially in tarot, often associated with our emotional being, our emotional state. So just pay attention to the emotions that are coming up to the surface. Every emotion that comes up to the surface doesn't mean that you have to make an action from that emotion. You can do an assessment and assess whether this is real, fair, or not, and then take action from there. But if you're simply being like, I'm hurt, I'm hangry, I'm this, I'm that, and now I'm gonna cuss everybody out, like that's not where we wanna be, sis. So let's move on and do the energy check-in, and I'll give you some things that you can do for your own personal ritual based on what I'm picking up with the energy. Dear Divine, thank you so much for allowing me to share space, time, and energy with your people, with whoever is watching this video right now. I pray that you would create a clear channel so that I can relay the messages in a way that they will understand, that they will be receptive to whatever messages come through and able to apply the messages, the lessons needed in their daily lives. I thank you for protecting us from all hurt, harm, and danger, for keeping all negative entities, spirits, any negativity out of this reading, and that you will bless us with tranquility and peace, with so much love in our hearts, gratitude on our lips, and clarity in our minds. We say thank you. All right, now, if you're new here, I'm just lighting some eucalyptus. You can smoke cleanse with things other than just sage, and I'm definitely a proponent of doing whatever herb bundle is in alignment with my intention. I do have herb bundles available on the shop. The links will be in the description, and yeah, we're about to do this thing. So I have 3 decks here: Romance Angels, Moonology Manifestations, and this is the Light Seers Tarot. I'm going to start with the Moonology Manifestations. Links to these decks will also be in the description in case you want these decks for yourself, for your own practice. I think all of these decks I got off of Amazon. So with that being said, I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you buy through those links, I do get a little kickback. Not too much, but just, you know, a little something cute. Spirit, thank you for connecting us. Please make the messages clear, concise, and to the point. What can the collective expect to deal with during this month? Okay, so first energy we have out is full moon in Aquarius. Be real. Be fucking for real. Be fucking for real. I love that new saying. All right, this is all I'm taking. Wow. Okay. I love this. We have full moon in Aquarius, be real, and new moon in Sagittarius, focused on the positive. So with this be real card, what I'm picking up on is the need to be honest, whether that's you being honest with yourself about expectations that you have out of partnership or relationship with others, or that's you actually communicating with people and saying, this is truly something that I want, and you having the balls, is what I'm hearing, to walk away from anything that's not in alignment with what you truly want. But the first step there is being real, is being honest, is being truthful about what it is that you actually desire. Now, we do have the new moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius energy for me, whenever that comes up, it's about exploration. It's about going on adventures. With this coming up under, or not necessarily under, but alongside the be real energy, I'm getting the sense that you don't necessarily know verbatim what it is that you want, and that's okay. It's okay to be unsure. It's okay to not be certain for a little bit, right? But at some point, if you want to be successful or be in the room or have the bag, you have to make a decision. How do you get to that decision? By exploring, being curious without judgment. There's a saying, and I don't know who says this because it's from Ted Lasso, the show on Apple TV, but basically the quote says to be curious, not judgmental. What that saying means is to not make presumptions or assumptions about things that you've never engaged with or people that you've never engaged with. So focus on the positive while you're exploring. Don't focus on the fact that you're kind of like in this limbo space, just kind of going around floating and you don't know. Don't focus on that. Focus on the fact that you have the opportunity to just be free, to just explore, to do things on your own terms while you're figuring it out. Because the thing about going on adventures and just trying new shit out is that you get to try different things. You don't have to be pigeonholed into this one little category. You don't have to niche down. You don't have to be so specific. You get the freedom to be all and nothing at the same time. Okay, that's all I'm getting from these two cards for now. Let's move on to the Light Seers deck and see what else Spirit has to say about that. So there's definitely some uncertainty here for sure. The first card to come out actually was the Aquarius, was the Emperor. The Emperor is associated with Aries energy. That's why we have the horns up here. But this is often referred to as the divine masculine, which is a masculine energy that fully embodies all the positive qualities of all of the kings in the tarot deck. It did come out in the reverse, and immediately I was picking up on some indecision, some indecisiveness, kind of along with this Sagittarius energy. Now again, there's nothing wrong with being unsure, uncertain, kind of being in this limbo space. because there's no way, it's not possible for us to know every damn thing all the damn time. Sometimes we're just not really sure, and that's okay. But how do you use that energy productively is by focusing on the positive and not beating yourself up about being honest that you just don't know. Now, excuse me, the uncertainty that I'm picking up on definitely is related to relationships. So for some of you, you don't know if you want to be single, you don't know if you want a boo thing, you don't know if you want a sneaky link, you don't know if you want a side piece, you don't know if you want to be by yourself, you just don't know. And so there's some inaction here because of that lack of certainty, that lack of stability. Again, I'm not using these words negatively or positively, it just is what it is. Six of Pentacles in reverse, this is a lack of balance. And like I said, it's just, I'm picking up on a lack of certainty about a romantic situation, like you not really knowing what it is that you want. Also, it's interesting that the quote of today here, and I'm just looking at it now, some things are worth fighting for. So I don't know if you are feeling like you should just stay put wherever you are because you're not really sure and you don't want to rock the boat too much, and that's fine. Or if this is related to this other person that's in your energy that's like, you know, I really want to rock with you. I know that you're not certain, but I'm really wanting to fight for this. Five of Wands. What's up over here? Six of Pentacles in reverse again. Yeah, you can't make this shit up. Like there's definitely a lack of certainty, some indecision. And I do see that this card right here wanted to be solo dolo. So yeah, okay. Well, there you go. Let's see, Spirit, do you have anything else to say before I move on to the Romance Angels deck? Okay, I'm being told to move on to that deck now. I'm also being called to say, be careful what you cut off. A lot of times, like I said before, with the full moon, the energy is heightened and people are making very emotion-based decisions. Don't make your move too soon. So if you're feeling a certain way, sit with yourself with that feeling for a while, because the thing about it is feelings change. Things are not always going to be the same. And this is true for, especially true for partnership of any sort. Sometimes you're feeling super passionate, you're in love, and then other times you're just like, it's meh. And that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the connection or anything wrong with you. It's just very much inhuman and impossible for us to be all one way all the time. We have to vacillate between the different parts on the spectrum. Some of you are not trusting your emotions too, and that's where this indecisiveness is coming from. You're not trusting the passion that you feel about this connection. You're not trusting that this person that's in your life that kind of fits perfectly with you or fits perfectly in what you have going on, you're not trusting it for whatever reason. I'm just really picking up on a lot of indecisiveness. A lot of indecisiveness. So since this is upside down, I'm going to flip it up so that y'all can actually read it. It says, this situation is calling for you to have faith. Faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. That's Hebrews 11:1, I want to say. Which is all about, well, you know what? Let's stop and break that down for a second. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. So what are you hoping for? Are you hoping for this happily ever after, where you're with your partner, your boo thing, you got the kids, the white picket fence, the dog, the whatever, like you feel fully satiated and fully fulfilled? The sound bowls being used for the cups is what's really being highlighted for me here in this moment, which is making me think of throat chakra. I'm also drawn to the music note over here in the corner, and that is partially in the blue. Blue is with the throat chakra. So there is some communication, and you see how I just kind of stuttered there for a second. There's something that needs to be communicated Be real. Be honest. So faith is the substance of things hoped for. What are you hoping for? Are you hoping for this happily ever after? Faith is a substance of things hoped for. Are you hoping for this? And it's the evidence of things not seen. You're hoping for this, but you don't see it yet in your 3D. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So you don't see it yet, but it is possible. It is coming. It is on its way. And you having faith in it is what makes it real, not you seeing it in your 3D space right now. That's not what's real versus not real. What's real, what makes things real, is your faith. And once you decide to be real and be honest about what you want, that's when you can make decisions saying, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. This is how I'm moving, this is how I'm not moving. Then you'll be able to have the upright emperor, where you are the one taking action that's aligned with where you want to go, what you want to do, who you want to be with. Okay. Let me see if Spirit has anything else to say, any guidance. I'm being called to specifically ask for guidance for divine feminine. I'm picking up on divine feminine energy, mostly being in this indecisiveness, and not being okay with it. If you call yourself divine feminine, if you resonate with that title, and you're watching this and you're just like, yeah, I'm always the person I'm the man with the plan. And that's the problem. Sometimes we don't need to necessarily have a plan. Sometimes it's okay to just flow. And as I'm saying that out loud, I'm being reminded that flow is one of the key words for divine feminine energy. It's about just making things be natural, but not making them be natural, allowing them to be natural, allowing things to just flow and be, to just fucking be. All right. Yeah, okay. So the wheel. Wow, okay, there's 9 of Pentacles, and then the wheel is number 10. So your steps are ordained. Your steps are ordered. You just have to trust. That's what it's all about. You being divine feminine, you being in your divine femininity. And even if you're a man watching this, which I know that I don't have many men watch my content. I'm here for the girlies, the gays, and the theys. But we all have divine feminine and divine masculine energy. And so when I say tapping into that divine feminine energy, I'm not saying it's gendered as in male versus female. I'm saying tapping into that energetic space of being in flow. 9 of Pentacles speaks to being content with what you've built and what you've grown, being happy with what you're harvesting, what you're gleaning from the seeds that you've planted before, because the truth of the matter is, anything that we experience is from a seed that we've planted. Now, I'm not saying that we're responsible for any abuse or negativity that we encounter because of other people's negative actions, but it all starts with a seed, whether that's a seed you planted or a seed that someone else planted. Also, with the wheel being here, this is why I'm saying these steps are ordained. The wheel of fortune refers to the timing of life, divine timing. I also look at it as like your birth chart. So if you've been curious about your birth chart, definitely look into that. There are some free online resources where you can put in your time of birth, your date of birth, and the location of your birth, and it will tell you where every single planet was at the time that you came into this earthen realm, and that will be the blueprint for you. Now, I'm not saying that you can't shift energy, because I definitely believe that we have that power to do so. That's why God gave us free will, right? But at the same time, the birth chart tells you what are major themes and major times in your life. And so you'll notice that even when you are going through rough patches, if you can find a way to harness the power from your birth chart by looking at certain placements and saying like, okay, this is a strong suit of mine, or this is a weak point of mine, you can navigate the tides, the vicissitudes of life a lot better. Also, there's a sense of needing to integrate the light and the dark here. You see how she is trusting in her balance. Balance is another keyword or theme for Libra energy. As you find a way to balance, as you find a way to trust yourself and integrate the light and the dark, you'll notice that you just have a little bit more ease and flow. So the question I asked when these two cards came out was encouragement or guidance for Divine Feminine. And the guidance here is to, like I said, find ways to balance out, how to integrate the light with the dark, how to trust yourself, how to find balance more. Now, balance doesn't mean that you put down one thing and pick up another thing. For some people, it could be that, but it's about your priorities, what you are putting first and foremost in your life. You making decisions about that, because you are the one in control. You have the power to do that. And so that's a beautiful way to end this reading. Now we're going to talk about things that you can do for your personal ritual for this full moon. All right, so let's talk about things that you can do to attune to this full moon in Libra. As I said, the full moon is the pinnacle of the moon phases of the moon cycle. It is the halfway point, so things are very much illuminated. It's also a time for you to just take an assessment and say, I want to keep this and I don't want to keep that. So with that being said, releasing rituals are often associated with the full moon. If you don't know what that means, basically it's a way for you to energetically get rid of bullshit or get rid of anything that you don't want. So since this is full moon in Libra, which is an air sign, I definitely recommend tapping into the element of air. You can do that through smoke cleansing with bundles. You can do that with incense, different herbs, resin. If you want to get very, very technical, you can do some research into different herbs that have the properties associated with what you're wanting to release. If it's an old partner that you want to cleanse your energy of their fucked up energy, you can do some research into that. If you're wanting to get rid of feelings of instability, if you're wanting to get rid of the feelings of indecisiveness, not so that you can push through this phase of your life, but so that you can be more aligned in the trajectory that you want to go in, you can do some research on herbs that or properties of things that will support in that. What else? A lot of people like to take salt baths. That would be water and earth element kind of, but it really doesn't matter. Me personally, I like to tap into all 4 elements, technically 5, which are water, fire, air, and earth. A good way to tap into earth energy would be getting crystals that are associated with the intention that you have. Fire, obviously, most people use candles. I tend to think of candles as fire and air, so it's kind of like a 2-for-1 with that. So yeah, you could take a bath, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can literally get a pound of Epsom salt, put that in there. You can get some essential oils that are skin safe, dilute them with a carrier oil like olive oil, jojoba oil, argan. There's a whole list of oils that you can use. You can put those oils in your bath. You can have the crystals sitting in the bathroom with you if they're not water safe. You can pray over the bath water and verbally say out loud, like, my intention is to rid my energetic field of, and you can say that. You can sit in the bath, you can meditate in the bath, you can pray in the bath, but it's literally to just get rid of the shit. Now, as I mentioned, smoke cleansing. I do have a video up on the channel if you are new to smoke cleansing. If you have questions, I will put that video somewhere on the screen so that you can go tap into that. I say a lot of times in that video, there's a whole lot of different ways that you can smoke cleanse. This is just one. I think I did 2 examples of how I smoke cleanse. But yeah, that's what I have for this Libra full moon. I hope that it treats you well. I hope that you are able to navigate the energy a little bit better now that we've gone into the energy check-in. You know what's up. I've told you what the planets are up to. I've given you some tips and some tricks, and I hope that you're able to fully integrate that into your own practice. But until next time, you can find me on Instagram at Soulful Soothe with lots of content on everything spiritual. If you are needing some spiritual goodies, my shop information is in the description below. But until next time, I hope that you are able to navigate life with ease and grace. I love you so much. Ciao.